I already hit the button.
Oh, snap. Oh, man.
Good evening, afternoon, morning, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Funny enough, so 2 weeks ago, Seb and I were basking in our appreciation for how well we've been doing, where we've made it every week. And then exactly the week after, which was last week, we
I don't think we're going to talk about that.
So we are back again. Surprise.
We are back again. I'm excited.
Yes.
It's been a fun week. Likely where I am, it's nice and warm. The sun's out, right? Focusing a lot this week on, actually, just a big shout out. I was at the CNCF yesterday in Toronto, and a great crowd. A lot of people came out, which was great. Thank you. We had 3 talks. One talk was one of the individuals from a bank. He was building out a platform to, like, an SDLC platform to build out agents, which is kind of cool. And then we had another individual from Coraz was talking about how they optimize their Kubernetes environment to scale to 0 kind of cost. So I'll share the links when the videos are online on the socials of it, but he reduced his Kubernetes spend by 1/4 almost, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Of what he was doing. And operationalized a lot of the stuff so they can interact through Slack to kind of, cut the efficiency down for the small team that they have. And that's Cohere, which is like our own Canadian awesome brand that's building out AI sovereignty inside of Canada itself, which is cool.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because you got the US has, right? We have Anthropics, OpenAI, Grok, all that stuff. China's got DeepSeek. I think Europe's got Minstrel.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own. Canada's got Cohort. They're doing great stuff here, which is awesome.
Awesome.
And then I talked about Agent Registry. So Agent Registry OSS, really the concept of a registry is really the concept of building any agents, and we'll probably dive in this later, but you need artifacts.
Yep.
And these kind of compose of your skills, your agent file, maybe it's the prompts, and an MCP servers if you're going to be adding those to it. Yep. So I talked about how Agent Registry OSS gives us the capability of building those or building out the templates for that construct, registering it to a central registry, and then having also the capability of discover. So I was using K-Agent and having Agent Registry discover what is managed and what are unmanaged agents inside my environment, so I can kind of have this visibility of, who and what are people deploying it, which was a fun talk. It got pretty engaging from all the users, which is always great, asking questions, how to build agents, how to deploy it, how do we then secure it eventually, right, with Agent Gateway, how do we put OBO and stuff on it. So, and then of course, cost. We've been talking about cost this week a lot, especially me, with a lot of the financials, a lot of the environments, and we're seeing. I don't know if you've seen like the Uber stuff or some of the other kind of from Alex from tweets on from Box on how they're trying to reduce the amount of token spend. Right. See if you can do less with more now. Right. Because Fable, why can't I pronounce it? What's the Claude that just came out?
Fable
5.0. Right. When is it? How long do we have to use it before we have to pay per token?
22nd of June.
22nd. So everybody start building something as fast as you can. Get your MVPs out before you start getting billed.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we've been, I think you and I have been talking about like cost optimization and stuff and putting out content around it for a while. Like it's been a pretty interesting topic to me. And then I go and I do 50,000 other things, but I'm back on cost optimization now and thinking about that. But it's very interesting how granular you can get with cost optimization, because there is the general cost optimization of tokens in, tokens out, right? Tokens in, typically the same. Tokens out are where you're kind of thinking, okay, how can I build this in a different way? Because, like, for example, tokens out with Sonnet will be a different amount of tokens than tokens out with Opus or Fable, because those models are more powerful, right? They do more, they can put out more. And because of that, they're on more expensive hardware. And because of that, more processing means you're paying for it, right? So you're paying for the extra output and therefore the extra tokens. But we were talking about this. I forget if you were on the meeting, but we were talking about this internally yesterday around, like, let's say you have one type of gateway written in one language and then one type of gateway written in another language, right? And then the question is, like, does that impact model input output? No. But what does, from a gateway level, is what type of prompts you're passing in at runtime, right? What type of guardrails you have set up. If you have any type of, like, rate limiting setup to say, like, this thing can only have 100 output tokens, right? So, like, what you can build around your gateway will impact tokens out, at least, and tokens in as well, depending on what type of, like, limits and guards and such you have set up. So and I just bring all this up because it's like, it's just so granular in terms of, like, how deep we can get into something like cost optimization when it comes to AI. Because it's just, I feel like everything with AI, it's like surface level, it makes sense, right? Like, everybody can understand cost optimization for AI. Cool. Like, everybody's on board with that. But then the deeper you go into it, it's like, this impacts it, this impacts it, this impacts it, this impacts it. It's interesting, man.
Yeah, like the cap spend or even the charge back is something that I've talked to customers about in several months probably now. Is I'm telling them, I'm like, hey, you're not thinking about a chargeback model, but just like you have a chargeback model in the cloud and Kubernetes and all these other areas in the enterprise, you're going to have a chargeback model, and you're going to need something. You're going to need a gateway to give you that data, be it on the gateway itself, be it if you're a large enterprise, you're sending it to your central monitoring repository and team. But cost is going to be huge, as we're seeing it, right? Or even enforcing time and budgets. I'm sure they'll be changing even the models. Like, what model do you really need? Let's be honest, to answer those things, right?
Yep. Yeah, I was listening to, I forget what podcast I was listening to, but Microsoft CEO Stella was talking about like, they've seen stuff internally where, like, throwing out, like, a huge model that costs you a lot and then taking, like, a 5 billion model parameter model or a 10 billion parameter model and just putting the proper harness around it can help you get similar or the same results, and, costing you nothing, right? If you're running it on your own hardware and stuff. So yeah, like that, I think that's going to be, and I know, again, we've been talking about this for a while, but, like, the whole, like, small language model or the domain specific model thing, I think as this stuff gets more expensive, organizations are going to start to think about that way more.
Yeah. Like, there'll be a need for a model, or like a frontier model.
Yep.
And there'll be a need for itself.
Yep. Exactly. Right. Yep. Yeah, because I mean, I was even reading, I think it was last week or the week before, where, like, OpenAI made the whole announcement where, like, a lot of people are starting to cancel subscriptions because it's tough for organizations to tie value back to, like, spending on all these, like, enterprise plans and stuff. But then those organizations, they still need to do something AI related, right? So then the question is, do they go to a smaller model that's, SaaS based or whatever you want to call it when a model comes from Anthropic or OpenAI? Or are they going to go with the, let's buy 4 DGX Sparks and, per team, right? Because that's 20 grand, but that's probably a heck of a lot less than they're spending on that team utilizing enterprise subscriptions from OpenAI or Anthropic. So each team gets a cluster of 4 Sparks and they put harnesses around it and they get the same results. I don't know. It's not like I feel like that idea maybe might have sounded far-fetched 6 months ago, but I don't think it sounds that crazy anymore.
No, not really, right? Like I'm doing more on my DGX Spark than me going to a frontier model.
Really?
Right. Like a lot, like I still use it because I want to see the difference and play it out. But I'm not the biggest developer. I'm not doing a lot of development, so I don't need the biggest model, right?
Yeah.
And even Fable, oh, Jesus, I can't pronounce it. It's a little slow for me. I don't know why, but it's just slow. And so is the Chinese model that I'm using, Gwen 3.5, right? Or Olama if I switch it. But I'm slowly switching them to smaller models that are really just customized to whatever I need for that use case. And then first thing I do, create a skill. Like, what am I doing? Here's a skill.
Right.
Here's the plugins inside of whatever IDE I'm using today.
Would you tend to make that easier on yourself? Like, for example, would you use Herms or Hermes or whatever people are calling it? Because that like automatically creates skills for you, right? Based on the questions that you're inside. So like, would you do that, or would you still prefer to create a skill manually?
I use this skill creator all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
I use Herm. It all depends on use cases for me.
Yeah.
And every, like, I have questions from, ex-colleagues and friends like, hey, I want to get into AI. What course should I take from a university? I'm like, I teach a course at university. I'm like, but to be honest, you've been in the industry for 10, 20 years. You could probably just figure it out. There's a lot of content out there, right? You don't need to go to a university. You already know the fundamentals. But so it depends on and I tell them they want to use AI. They're like, oh, I want to buy a DGX Spark, or I want to buy a 32 gig video card to be able to do stuff. But I'm like, well, what's your use case?
Right.
Well, I just want to play with it. I'm like, well, do you really need a $4,000 or $5,000 machine to play? There's Olama's there, right? Download a little model. Download a model on your phone if you want. Like Google Edge AI thing has, you don't need to learn or even do the simplest things. Update my spreadsheet.
Right.
Do I need the biggest model? No.
Right.
Like, I've been updating spreadsheets with, Opus 3.5 still.
Right.
I could still use that, and it did a great job because I added the skills and those things to it.
Yeah. And you know what? Funny enough, even about that, it's like I'll open up like the Anthropic app on my phone, and I'm not doing any like programming or anything. I'm just like asking it a question, like, I don't know, like, what is like I was looking the other day, right? Like, what's like the best scenic overlook drive on the East Coast to do? And I'm like, okay, just out of sheer curiosity, like, let me ask Sonnet, and then let me ask like Opus, right? And it's like, of course you ask Opus, and then it gives you like a crazy large output that you probably didn't need. Like, dude, just give me bullet points and give me the directions, like give me the coordinates so I can type it into my GPS.
Oh, that's it.
That's all I need, right? But Opus is like, oh, well, it's really interesting you're asking about that. And I'm like, no.
Give me the answers.
When
I use Grok, I have like Grok agents that are just concise. Just give me, this is the answer. Okay, thanks. That's all I want to know. I don't want to waste anyone's time.
Yep. And it's almost like, I don't know if you feel this or like anybody that's listening and watching right now feels this way, but it's almost just like context overload, like pun intended, but like context overload, like in your brain. Like, I don't need all this output. Just answer the question. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I know this was not on the schedule to talk about, but you made me think about it because I know you teach at a college. Do you think, like, so I've just been out of sheer curiosity, right? Just because like I'm always trying to think about like what extra I can do on a weekend, or like, is there another book that I can pick up, or is there another whatever. And I've been looking at like some of the courses from like MIT, for example, around like Agentic. Like, how do you feel about those? Because like I'll look at them and they look interesting, but it's like I feel like I'm past it.
I feel like if I looked at some courses, and a lot of the courses are all based, I find it's all on fundamental stuff.
Right.
Right. They all, most of the bigger ones start with like machine learning, understand how to do those things, understand how to labeling, all that stuff.
Yep.
So it depends on the person you are. You can find a lot of that stuff online and read it.
Right.
I find that because it is new, you have to see who's teaching it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it was the saying, if you can't do, you teach, right?
Right. And what was the other one? There's another mean one, but I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
there's like it's something about you teach gym if you can't teach regular class or something. I don't know.
Man, I love gym teachers, man.
Look, gym was my favorite my favorite class.
It was the best.
Man.
It's a hard thing to answer. Like,
yeah,
it depends on the professor, what you're looking to get out of it. Right. I think school is very important.
Yep.
Because it builds connections with people.
Yes.
And and that's important. You understand the fundamentals. If you already know the fundamentals, can you find them elsewhere? Yeah, probably.
Right.
If it's a specific professor doing like some renowned about something, and he's the SME, that knows all the dirt in the back on ML, machine learning, and all that stuff. And
yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
You want to get that cert, but like even certs, they're all just to get in the door of a resume, I find.
Yeah, I also like a lot of the times what I'll do is like I'll look at a cert's curriculum, and then I'll just go and I'll learn that stuff. Like I don't need to go get the cert.
Yeah.
Unless I like really want to for whatever reason, right? Yeah. Like I feel like
if you're a reseller, you get point discounts.
Yes.
It is good for resumes, RFPs. Some of them do require it.
Yep.
There are some, important things with that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I also think maybe there's even like a challenge to yourself in a sense, right? Like that's why I like certs like the CKA or the CKAD because it's all hands on. Yeah. So it's like you have to like understand what you're doing in a sense.
You have to know how to look at the logs, troubleshoot stuff.
Right.
You can't just be like, oh, it's not working, I'm frustrated, I'm out. Like, you just paste the log into a ChatGPT without reading it, and then it just tells you the answer. I've done it 100 times.
Who does that?
Like, I'm not even reading this log. I don't even know what I copied. Answer it.
Tell me the way.
Tell me the way. Like those, I think those are very important certs. Anything hands-on. Like I teach a lot of hands-on stuff.
Right.
And I think hands-on is the most, because it's critical thinking too. Right. You're not a code monkey just throwing code out.
Right.
You're understanding the logic of, hey, I'm enabling this header because of that. I'm enabling this config because of that. Because the way it works, right?
Yep.
And I even, if we go back to like the Agentic talk, if you're playing with like OBO and setting up, on behalf of the token exchange for your agents, reading it might confuse some people unless you do it. Like I do it and I'm like, oh shoot, that's what they mean with this. Here's the claim, here's that. Well, what if we use claims differently than what the textbook says? Okay, we got to do it this way. So
right.
I'm very hands-on, and I'm always pro for hands-on exams or certs.
100%. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I think much better from a hands-on perspective. I'm sorry, I learn much better from a hands-on perspective than like academically. But I've always been that way. All right, shall we jump into a little Substrate? I would love.
I'm not sure if you have a demo or anything like that. I'll post 2 links here. One, I know Christian Poster wrote, and I just saw you published one. I didn't even know that it was out.
Yeah, yeah. I have one on
It's like the 101
Cajun and
installation
Substrate.
guides, right?
Yeah, I have one on Substrate and Cajun on the solo site, and then I have two on my blog. Yes. So let me go ahead and share.
Bam, got it. Boom. That is a long title to copy and paste. So I will make that a QR code.
Thank you, kind sir.
Because nobody's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Except me.
I hear you. Thank you. Yo, and you know what? I'm just gonna say this. We're doing I'm not a marketing SEO guy by any means, but like no, but look at that. Solo Agent Substrate. Our 2 videos talking about Agent Substrate. My blog, Agent Substrate. YouTube, Agent Substrate. Solo Agent. Come on, we're killing it. All right. Anyways, so what is Agent Substrate? Now, what I want to do is I want to go to the repo. I'm going to bigger. Yeah. I'm going to read the definition, and then I want to draw something out, and then I'm going to show you something. All right. So Agent Substrate is a system built on top of Kubernetes, which manages agent-like workloads to achieve higher scale and efficiency than Kubernetes can offer alone. This is the important part, with lower latency. It builds on top of Kubernetes features like pods and auto scaling, but takes the Kubernetes control plane out of the critical path. Okay. So, and there's a demo here as well. Definitely go check this out. This is really cool. 250 stateful actors. I'm going to tell you what an actor is in just a second. Across 8 pods. That's pretty solid, right? Okay, so let's conceptually think about what this is. So, what is Kubernetes really, really good at? Kubernetes is really, really good at being an orchestration system, right? That's what it's known for. If anybody here was around for the orchestration wars, right? We had Mesos and we had Swarm and we had Kubernetes. Kubernetes ended up taking the cake at the end. But what does an orchestration system do? Well, it allows you to essentially, of course, that's not going to work as I wanted it to. Oh, there we go.
Light board. It's always so dark.
There we go.
There we go.
I know, man. Your eyes can't take it. I understand. I'm sorry. But an orchestration system is really, really good at clustering resources. So when we're thinking about Kubernetes worker nodes, we're thinking about, let's say I have 3 worker nodes, right? So I'm just going to write K8S worker nodes in my cluster. Now, each of these worker nodes have X amount of GPU, X amount of CPU, X amount of memory. With Kubernetes, you cluster it all together, so it almost all looks like one, right, in a sense. And then when your pods get scheduled via the Kubernetes scheduler, it'll go and it'll pick, okay, I'm going to go to cluster 2 because cluster 1, I'm sorry, I wrote this the wrong way. I should say node. I don't know why I wrote cluster. Apologies. I probably just confused everybody. Node 1, node 2, node 3, and then worker nodes. I'm going to say cluster. Okay, apologies. So node 1, node 2, node 3. Kubernetes scheduler says, okay, this pod is going to go on node 2 because node 1 and node 3 are at 95% capacity, right? So I should schedule it to node 2 because it's at 5% capacity. I'm making stuff up here. Now, this is the magic behind Kubernetes. Now, of course, there is, the fact that we're thinking about APIs from an infrastructure standpoint, the control plane, the ability to extend APIs with Kubernetes, right? So you can create your own custom resource definitions. There's all that, but the nuts and bolts of it is this, right? Now, in the world of Agentic, we're thinking about things from a sandboxing standpoint, right? We're thinking about things from an isolation standpoint. We're thinking about security. We're thinking about cost management. We're thinking about cost optimization. We're thinking about efficiency, right? Speed is important, right? Maybe it's not what everybody's thinking about right now, but once organizations begin to hit 50 agents, 100 agents, 1,000 agents as the norm, performance is going to be very, very important, right?
Yeah.
So what Substrate does is, instead of using the control plane, right, the Kubernetes control plane, What it does is it bypasses and it has its own Substrate CP slash, management plane, right? Whatever you want to call it. And it also has a Kubernetes controller. So you still get like the idea around your reconciliation loops and your self-healing and such. But you as the person, right? I'm going to say this is a person here. You as a person are interacting with the Substrate control plane slash management plane instead of the Kubernetes control plane. And then the Substrate control plane is going and interacting with the Kubernetes worker nodes. So that's really neat, right? And this is probably why I think this is like, I nerd out a little bit, because it's like, for the past however many years, everybody's been thinking about Kubernetes as like the control plane, the worker nodes cluster, boom. But instead, what Google is doing with Substrate, right? Google is behind the Substrate project. What Google is doing is they're saying, well, why can't we just use the best of both worlds? Why can't we build a control plane that's built for the agentic era? And then why can't we just use what Kubernetes is really good at, which is clustering resources, right? And then let's throw another piece in here, right? Now, the problem with not a problem, right? The way that it's architected and designed right now, this is the way that it works. But the thing is, you have no method of interacting directly, right? As in, you want to interact with an agent. How do you do it? Right now, what you'll see with Substrate is, right, you see these, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay. You see these actors running, right? And then you see these workers, right? But the question is like, hey, how do I interact with an actor? By the way, an actor it could be a stateful app, it could be a Go web app, or it could be an agent, right? So you have an agent that's running in an actor, and then you have workers. Workers are pods, okay? That's it. Those are the two big definitions that you need to think about: workers and pods, right? Workers and actors.
And you have this deployed in KAgent.
I have this deployed in KAgent here. Yep, exactly. Yep. And this is, if anybody wants to pull down the latest OSS release of KAgent, this is in there. You just got to go to /substrate and you can hit this UI here. Okay. So workers, pods, actors, agents, right? Just conceptually. But to interact with this, you essentially have to either build a user interface around it, right? Or you can curl it, right? If it's sitting in front of like a web app or something. So instead, as the person here, right? Person, because I don't think there's a way to draw eyes and a smiley face in Excalibur. What you could do is you can interact with it via KAgent, right? So now you are interacting with KAgent, right? So if I go here and I say I want to create a new agent, what I can do is I can say I want to run this in a sandbox, and then I could choose what sandbox I want, right? Agent Substrate. And then I can create an agent within Substrate running in an actor that I can interact with like I would any other agent, right? And that's the really important piece here, because what we want to do is, especially if we're bringing this whole thing to life, right? We don't want to confuse people on how to interact with it. We want to put a interface in front of it that you're used to. Now, in the world of Agentic, everybody is used to either hitting an agent via a terminal or hitting an agent via a UI. So you can do that with KAgent's UI. You can do it with the command line interface as well. So that is my, oh, and I got a bunch of stuff here if you want to dive in and figure out how to resume an actor and stuff like that.
I just put the QR code right to the, if anybody wants to scan it, to the agent substrate document on kagent.dev on how to get it going.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
but that's my spiel around agent substrate today. Yeah. All right. Sweet.
So, so what was the kind of, if I have any, like from a real world cold start and kind of time and resource savings compared to kind of the always on agents? How are you, would that be on a performance thing? Like what is kind of the real world cold start to always on agents?
Yeah. So there's two things to think about here. The first is, I think you sent out the Git link to Substrate, right?
Yeah.
So if you scroll down, you can see that it under the demo piece, it says watch the agent substrate cluster multiplex 250 stateful actor sessions, agents, right, across 8 pods.
Mhm.
So there's two things here. From a cost optimization perspective, instead of saying 1 agent per pod, we're saying 250 divided by 8, whatever that is,
Mhm.
right? So you're saving on resources from that perspective, right? You're just saving general CPU, memory, GPU resources, right? The other side of it is to what you just mentioned. With Agent Substrate, the actors aren't on unless you interact with them,
Mhm.
right? So let's say, for example, I'm using K-Agent, right? And I'm going and I'm hitting an actor. Unless I am physically or autonomously in K-Agent hitting the agent, it's not on. It's in a suspended state. And then it has to go and it has to resume, right? So you say, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes from suspended to resume. I knew the startup numbers, but I forget what it was from going from suspended to resume.
Do you have
They
anything
aren't bad,
inside the, like this is still like actively, like I wouldn't put this in production yet.
to be cleared, the project is 2 weeks old.
Oh, even beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Which is
very new.
That's awesome. So
It is.
there's going to be like I'm just looking at it's 3 weeks old.
Yep.
001's the initial commit. Oh, friend Jonathan put in a little repo or a commit an hour ago into the project itself.
Sweet.
So right now the framework supports ADK, of course, LangChain, Claude, Codex, MCP already.
Yeah, I have a PR in there as well to have some demos around anti-gravity. Because right now there's a demo for Claude, but I put one in for anti-gravity, which for everybody listening, if you're not familiar with anti-gravity, it is what is replacing the Gemini CLI.
Yes. Have you been using that a lot or
no?
Same here.
I'm an open code guy. A lot of open code and a lot of Codex.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I like open code.
I'm like 90%. Well, I'm gonna say I'm like 60% Grok build, and the rest 40%. Maybe because now I own SpaceX, I have to use Grok build more.
Yeah. Me too, actually.
I have to use it now.
Yeah.
I have an iPhone, so
exactly. I have to use my investments.
Well, more because I can pick the models easily.
Yeah.
And I find it's kind of the mix of Claude. Like Claude code has amazing features, and it's kind of that mix, like the goal feature, the loops, and all that stuff. Like Agentic loop is like that's something actually we should talk about. Is kind of the agent loops, right?
Yeah, we should talk about agent loops because I don't really know how I feel about them. I think I'm also still ignorant to agent loops, but I'm very curious to get an understanding of whether or not you think it's BS or not.
I don't think it's BS. I run a lot of my loops, but I'm not doing like I find that is very well defined for like developers that are developing things.
Yeah,
I'm vibe coding things. Right. I'm not a developer. I'm not one of those smart guys that knows all the details of whatever they need to. I used to. I don't do that stuff. Right. I understand the fundamentals of things and architectures and stuff, but when I look at the code, I'm not that guy. but I was just gonna read a post from Peter.
Yeah, throw it up on the screen.
What did he say? Oh. So, well, he just said, how do I share screen here? Share screen. So this is it. Here's your monthly reminder that you shouldn't be prompting code agents anymore. You should be designing loops that that prompts your agent.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about this.
Right.
And again, for you and for everybody watching and listening, I'm asking out of sheer ignorance. Okay. So if I have a loop, that means I have instructions on if this happens, do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, right? So taking it back to first principles, by definition, for me to create a loop, I need to know what the agent is going to do.
Yep.
Now, based on the fact that you can ask an agent, same model, the same question 5 times and get 3 different answers, how can you successfully know what the agent is going to do, and then therefore how can you create a proper loop?
Do you really think you're getting 5 different answers every time?
You don't think so?
I don't. I feel like I'm always getting the same answer, differently worded maybe sometimes, but
yeah. But wouldn't that impact it? No,
not really.
No.
Does it matter if you spell a word wrong when you prompt it? No, it's gonna know what you're talking. It's gonna know I'm ESL.
Yeah.
And I forget where and what and how to spell where and there.
So then would you say that agents are now no longer non-deterministic?
I would say the LLMs are getting a lot better to handle that stuff.
Yeah. But would you say that they are still non-deterministic as it sits right now?
Yes. Yeah. By themselves without skills and other interventions in it. Even if I'm doing a loop, if I'm building something Colossus and I have a bunch of agents doing sub agents reviewing things, and that's what people are saying they're doing. They have, one's writing this code, this guy's reviewing this code. I would have still a blueprint of what I'm trying to build, what, like you mentioned, what I should use, what I shouldn't use. If I use that, do this. Right. Architecture, understand what I'm trying to build. Yeah. And architecture, I'll know the cost limits of grabbing whatever components I need to grab. So I still need to define it, right? You can't just let it go wild, I think.
Yeah. So, okay. So let me ask you this then. What's the difference between a loop and a step-by-step in a prompt where you specifically say, once this is done, do this. Once this is done, do this?
Well, a loop's going to go back to validate everything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, once you're done with this, do this. Once you're done with this, do this, then go back.
Yeah. But what if I have other agents doing things that affect those paths?
True.
Right.
I guess the question there would be then,
that's like a larger scale, right?
Yeah. Like that. Like, to me, that would be, how are you running agents, and how therefore is that running sub agents? So, like, for example, right now in Claude Code, like, it'll go kick out and go do other agents, right? Yeah. But it's still in the same, what do you want to call it, right? You're still in the same terminal, right? Mm-hmm. Or UI, so to speak. Yeah. Whereas with another client, or I'm calling them clients, right? Whether it's Open Code or Codex or whatever, like, they may handle the idea of sub agents differently, maybe. I don't know. But that's like kind of the things that I think about. I'm like, how does this look at a lower level? Like, you know what I mean? But again, I haven't, like, I've put together loops, but I wasn't putting together those loops because I wanted to save on prompting. I was putting those loops together because I needed a successful output from the prompt, because the prompt had loops. Yeah. So, like, and again, like, I'm thinking about this, like, okay, so, like, what Peter is saying is, don't manually prompt, just have loops. But, like,
correct, yeah,
your loop is the prompt, isn't it? Like you're typing, do this, then do this, then do this. So that is now the prompt.
Yeah, that is a prompt.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think that's where like my brain like how can I put it? My brain won't accept like the markety jargon around like what a thing is, because you take the paint off the pig and it's just what was there.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. But I could also be thinking about this way differently. Like somebody tell me, reach out to me if I'm thinking about this the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm not developing as much in that space of loops.
Right.
So I would assume that if I have multi agentic system, I'd want it to loop itself through things while other agents are doing and interacting with the infrastructure that I'm doing, and not having to prompt it all the time.
Okay,
so it has a loop and an objective. Do it. Something changed. You do your thing. Is it still there? Yeah. Okay. You do your thing. Is it still there?
Okay.
So or is it still working? Yes.
Right. So like what you're saying from that perspective is maybe I have an agent that loops through 10 things to ensure that my other agents didn't screw anything up.
Yeah.
It's doing checks for the other agents.
100%. Yeah. Because that's all I'm seeing. Like I have agents running, doing things. I don't have agents working with other agents to solve a thing.
Right.
In my home infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
For at least my use cases of what I do day to day.
Yeah.
But I know I've talked to developers that have the agents just there sitting, waiting, and it's like, oh, something changed. Let me check. Let me loop through my whatever statement. Let's go, right?
Right.
Isn't that implementation of DAG?
Okay, so let's see. So we do have this. I'm in Claude Code right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have /loop. Run a prompt or a / command on a recurring interval.
Yeah.
Okay. So like where I can see that being pretty interesting is like instead of having, well, that could be a version of a cron job. Right? Yeah. Isn't that implementation of DAG? Do I know that acronym?
That's like I'm not even.
Oh, directed acyclic graph provides a structure flowchart like data architecture for agentic AI. I think that's actually the first time I've heard that. Oh, no. Never mind. I know what this is. Yeah. Well, because DAG is just a loop as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know if DAG is directly associated with loops. Like it's the same thing, but I don't know if they're combining the two terms together and using them together, if that makes sense. Like, yes, they're the same thing, but it's like where you see loop, where will you see DAG and vice versa. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So 2 minutes left. I have a call in 2 minutes. Anything else you want to leave everybody with? This was a good conversation. I'm happy we talked.
No, I think like I love, and I know you love bleeding edge stuff. Yep. Substrate, awesome. They have a CNCF channel on the CNCF Slack just for Substrate. If anybody wants to learn more in there, there's also a K-Agent channel in the CNCF.
Yeah.
The thing I'm focusing on, at least for the next couple weeks and with a lot of customers, is all about cost.
Yep.
And how to reduce costs, how to show costs, how to budget for costs. And I'm going to have a webinar next week, I think, or in 2 weeks on how we can do that with Agent Gateway. So we'll probably talk about a little bit next week, but I will share the link on the socials about that.
Yeah, and then I think it's already been scheduled. Well, I don't know if it's out in the world yet, but Sebastian and I will be doing an update to our cost optimization webinar that we did
a long time ago,
5 months ago.
We started at Solo.
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
That's true. We did that. Yeah. Oh, and DAG does not allow for cycles, are not allowed in a DAG. That's the difference between a DAG and a loop.
What is it?
A DAG is you go once and that's it in a DAG.
Oh, so you can't do
multi once, right? This means that you can flow the connection in one direction, all right, and you'll never loop back to the starting point in DAG.
Oh, interesting.
That's the biggest difference.
That is it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I wrote down two things that I'm gonna work on this weekend. One is agent loops, and one is I know like in Claude and in Codex, right? Like they're doing what they're doing underneath the hood for sub agents to kick off and go do different tasks. I want to have a better understanding of how each of them differ. So like how do sub agents work in Claude? How do sub agents work in, I don't know, I think Open Code has it. Yeah. How do sub agents work in Codex, right? How do sub agents work in Grok build? So I put those two initiatives for myself for this weekend.
Harnesses, baby.
Harnesses, that's it. Cool. All right, everybody.
They're all built probably off of like pi.dev. I'm assuming.
That's it. That's it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you again next time.
Take care.